everyone! I'm here today with a review. This time around, I've never tried a review in a vlog before, but I thought, why not? So, the book I'm going to be reviewing is Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. So the main character of Second Chance Summer is a girl named Taylor, and at the start of the book, her dad has basically just been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and the doctors have told him he has 3 months to live. So her family decides to spend one last summer with the dad at their old lake house, and she has a lot of memories, both good and bad, associated with the lake house that sort of unfold throughout the book in flashback kind of scenes interspersed with present-day narrative. So basically the book's about Taylor both confronting the ghosts of her past, metaphorical ghosts, not actual ghosts, there's no paranormal element here, as well as dealing with the issues that are arising from her dad's illness. It's very much a character-based book. In particular, it's about Taylor sort of discovering her flaws and working on improving how she handles them. And one of these is the fact that when something scares her or the going gets tough, she tends to run. And she's aware of this about herself, but it's sort of brought home to her in this book, and she actually works on overcoming that. She's kind of like Julia Roberts' character in a way from The Runaway Bride, because, well, minus the bride aspect of it, she likes to run away. Like, she doesn't like confrontation, and I think she's kind of not too keen on emotional disclosure either, so she'd rather just sort of not deal with it. Now, because this is a book about a girl whose dad is diagnosed with a terminal illness, there is definitely some sad, depressing stuff in here, especially towards the end. But in the middle section, the darkness surrounding the dad's storyline is balanced quite nicely with the burgeoning romance that's occurring between Taylor and Henry, who is the childhood sweetheart from so long ago, of course. But the romance doesn't take center stage. I actually could have used a little bit more of it. There's also a development on the friendship front between Taylor and Lucy, who was her best friend from so long ago. So those two storylines are, I think, kind of the main ones happening apart from the one involving the dad. The romance side of things is very sweet when they do get together. Before that, though, there is a lot of tension between Taylor and Henry, and that's done really well. There's also another kind of tension between Taylor and Lucy in a not good way, because they have this really frosty sort of dynamic through the first part of the book. Like when the two of them are in the room together, the temperature drops 10 degrees. I mean, it's not pretty. We also get to see the family coming together a little more as the book progresses. Taylor acknowledges that they don't share emotionally much with each other, and although she seems to think they are by the end, I wasn't really getting that feeling so much. But it is clear that they've become a lot more comfortable with each other and have come to rely on each other some more. We don't get to know either of the siblings, Taylor's older brother Warren or her younger sister Gelsey, that well. Although, from my impression of Warren, I think I would find him totally annoying to have as a brother. Just to be totally honest. But it is nice to see how Taylor helps him out with his romance, and she also helps her younger sister out with finding a friend. Taylor herself is quite a flawed character, but she is very relatable. She hates public speaking and is terrified of it, which I am also, so yeah, I was able to sympathize with her about that. I really liked Henry as a character. I thought he was a really sweet guy, very thoughtful and considerate, but he's still believable as a character. He's basically a kind of sweet, outdoorsy sort of geek, and I would totally date him if I knew him in real life. We don't actually get to see that much chemistry between them after they get together, and before they get together, there's mostly just a whole lot of tension, which for a good part of it is actually kind of hostile tension, because there's still a lot of unexplained business between the two of them, dating years and years and years back to that one summer. Now, in terms of the actual incident that happened that one summer, the way that's handled in here, I had a couple of issues with. The first one relates to my dislike of the unreliable narrator technique. It can be used well, certainly, but it really depends on the situation and the character who is narrating. And for this one, Taylor, she obviously knows and remembers precisely what happened that summer. And she's not so traumatized by it that, like, she's protecting herself psychologically by refusing to think about it. She alludes to it in a vague sort of way, and yet she won't tell the reader exactly what happened. At the beginning, especially, I mean, it really feels like she's holding out on the reader, because she obviously knows what went on that summer, and she's just flat out not telling us. I really, really, really don't like it when narrators do that. It bugs the heck out of me. I do see, as a writer, I guess, where she's coming from with the unreliable narrator technique, because it does work to give the book some more momentum, and it didn't ever turn me off the story so much that I stopped reading. There was enough other stuff going on that I was willing to overlook it, especially once we started getting some of the actual flashback chapters. My second issue is that I just thought the actual incident itself was overplayed, like it was played up too much, with all this build-up throughout the whole book, and then you actually find out what happened, and you're like, really? That's it? That was it? And this caused that much, like, drama? And, you know, tore apart two of these relationships that she had just because of this one thing. After, you know, being led through all these flashbacks and all these tantalizing tidbits kind of dropped about, oh, what happened that summer? And then to find out, like, really? It was just this, and there wasn't really anything more to it than that. I was just expecting something dramatic enough to warrant all of the anticipation, and it just wasn't a big enough payoff, exactly. In terms of the dad's illness storyline, I thought that his deterioration towards the end was very realistically and believably written. It's not super dramatic, like, you know, one day, bam, he's on his deathbed. We get to see kind of a progression, step by step, as he is able to do less and less of the things that he used to be able to do. It depicts very realistically what it would be like to be dealing with the last few weeks of a family member's life. It's true that this book is quite predictable. There's also nothing really new here. I mean, it's all something that we've seen before in other contemporary YA books. The parent with cancer plotline has been done before. Patching up friendships, relationship difficulties, all that sort of thing is pretty par for the course. That said, you know, the characters are easy to relate to and connect to. And so overall, I give it 4 shooting stars. I certainly think it would appeal to fans of Sarah Dessen's books, especially the ones that are summer books, as well as Jenny Han's summer series.